Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Michigan Ultimate Survivor League. It is I, James L. Seegers, your commissioner, coming to you from the basement of my house. Week 9 is over. We are looking forward to Week 10 today as we get ready. We have 2 weeks left. I'm still not 100% after this horrendous illness that has struck me pretty bad. Now, we got a lot to go over today. Mainly playoff breakdowns. That's all that really matters. You know, it's a slight change in the format as we pump this up just a little bit. As we focus more on the end of the season, less so on like things like the bottom 10 and stuff like that, because we don't have time for that. That being said, I got a minute into this. Now, I will tell you this, okay? I'm a man of my word, but I also worry about the safety of my family and all that stuff. Being that yesterday was election day, obviously, we made a deal that if David Dalton won another match, we would bring my boy AJ, Alex Jones, back for the podcast. But based on how things went in Michigan yesterday, I don't think he's very happy. So I have armed security guards outside my house right now, not only to protect my signs that have been stolen once again on election night, but also to protect that lunatic from coming into my house and running this. So I apologize. I know you guys were some of you were looking forward to a little Alex Jones segment impression, but at the end of the day, my family's safety is more important. I don't want my YouTube channel to get taken down, so that's where we're at. Plus, I don't really feel great. Don't feel like doing it. Whatever. But maybe next time. We'll see. Anyway, here we are. So, we're going to start with the watch is over. And that means that your boy, not my boy, your boy, Tips and Tricks. Is it true? Is it true? It is true. Tips and Tricks wins last week. I don't even know who he beat. I didn't get all the way done preparing because I wanted to do this yesterday, but I was at work way too late and I got tired. So let's see who Tips and Tricks beat this week as he finally gets into the win column after weeks of just being harassed and, you know, bullied. Not bullied. Yeah, bullied. Whatever. I'm a bully, okay? Is that what you want to hear? Tips and Tricks. Who the hell did you beat, Tips and Tricks? This is not the most efficient way of finding this, by the way. God, I'm the worst. I had extra time to work on this, and this is the best I got. It's true. I was too worried about the damn playoff scenarios. Tips and Tricks beats the Black Hole for his first win of the year. That's a big deal because the Black Hole was 5-3 and in the mix of a playoff conference championship potentially. Now, out of the question probably, but we'll look in a minute. Now, wasn't going to do the bottom 10, but I'm going to do it real quick. Hockenstein, very disappointing season, 4-game win-lose streak. I'll take your money. You know, he usually loses and doesn't take your money. FarmersOnly.com and Watson, Spa, and Masseuse. Still terrible seasons for the Farmer boys here. File missing report, a.k.a. Run It Back. You won again. Unfortunately, Alex Jones not going to be making an appearance today. He doesn't want to show his face anyway after what happened yesterday here in this state. Super Original gets in the win column. BVC, Hoodrich, Honky, and Steel City Sackers with another loss. 2-7. Unbelievable. Sorry. So that's your bottom 10. Now we're going to get to the top 25 here. Just a moment. I just got to click something. What was that? Hey, Cassandra. What was that noise? What was that? What was that noise? What? Alright, listen up, you fuckers. It's I, AJ, that liberal cuck. James Seagrace had a bunch of security guards think they couldn't get by. I couldn't get by them, but I got through them, just like we're going to get through these damn polls once we get done with the recounts and all the collusion and
the fraudulent stuff that happened here in Jackson and the state of Michigan. It's just a bunch of bullshit. I'm sure we got to go, and I got my team analyzing all the results. Now, I will say that the red wave came through as predicted in most states, but these liberal cocksuckers here in Michigan, they think it's okay to mutilate everybody and all that stuff, and I'll tell you what, it's not happening. I've got a busy day here today. I came by because I'm a man of my word. David Dalton, you won. I'm proud of you. You beat those tallywhack son of a bitches. And I'm here now to do my part of this show while I got James L. Seagraves tied upstairs. We're going to give him a dose of the DMT so we can see what kind of entities we really should be worried about. We don't need to worry about Super Ready running for school board or anything like that when we got the Clockwork Elves coming here. It's going to be taking over these interdimensional beings. Going to be taking over everything. Now, I'll tell you one thing. The Clockwork Elves, there's a team in this league known as the Clockwork Elves, and they actually are on a win streak. I don't know. Maybe that boy's doing some DMT. We'll find out. But I'm here to do the top 25 for you anyway. It's the last time we're going to be able to do the top 25 because next week it doesn't matter. And then you also have the fact that I'm probably not going to be welcome around these parts anymore. I was able to overthrow a couple guards, but they're probably on Derek Doby's payroll, and they're just weak bitches like that man is, although I heard he allegedly won the election last night. Anyway, here we go. Top 25, aching for a ship, lost, goes from 18 to 25. Then there's that completely horrid nickname, Malcolm Rodriguez, in the middle of my thighs. This is what you get for having such an extreme pornographic name, lady. You're down 15 to 24. You're in a 4-game losing streak. How's it feel to be on top? Well, I should be asking you that since you have such a whorish team name. Unreal. It didn't feel good, did it? Because now you're down after getting railed week after week after week after week. 4-game losing streak. You deserve it. Post-swag, just another thing. I said last time these women should not be at the top. Now they've lost 4 games straight since I've been here. So, kudos you. By the way, he had said something about me not showing my face. It's true. I can't show my face because I don't want this YouTube channel to get blacklisted like everything else. InfoWars and all that stuff. Anyway, Brady's backup, young Cromwell. You better enjoy it. You better enjoy being young and being able to not worry about having your gender realigned here after yesterday. So, young Cromwell, congratulations to you. 2-game win streak, 6-3. Good job. Cloacal Kiss. That's another woman for you. Young lady, if you will. The gross name. I don't know who allows these names to be in here, but nevertheless, 2 in a row lost from 12 to 21. Kikambas, there's my man. He almost had a bad week last week as one of the teams almost supplanted him as number 1 scorer of all time. Did pass his number 2 score of all time, however. He, what's that? The Nuts. Another stupid name. Kakambas lost the number 2 spot all time, but he still has number 1 spot all time. Jeremy Orr. Congratulations, you are a true American hero, sir. Ketchup and Mostert. 19. He's 6-3 with 680 points. It's pretty good. CD's Nuts. Loses, falls from 8 to number 18. I don't know what this coloring is here. This is new to me. I'm thrown off a little bit. Your mother likes my defense. 5 wins in a row. Good job to you. He's a former champion, people. Low-hanging fruit. 4-game win streak. This guy's on a tear. Up from number 24 to 16. The Apache Chiefs. Oh, man. Oh, you know we're going to have to play this because we're going to get canceled soon enough. If we, we're not going to be able to play this shit. So we're going to play it because we do it every time these Indian mothers get brought up here. There it is, the Apache Chiefs, they won again. Now we're looking at from 16 to 15, a huge move that nobody really cares about. That's enough. You feeling lucky, punk, must be feeling lucky, because he's up from 20 to 14. Kristen's Weapons of Mass Double Destruction. Now you want to talk about a franchise, this is a franchise that I can really take a hold of, you know? I mean, have you seen this team's logo by any chance? This is something, you got all this women empowerment stuff. Look, I mean, Kristen's Weapons of Mass Double Destruction. Now, this is a logo here, folks. This is good. Jared Goff won twice. last week because he won on the field and then he won when he gets to go home to this thing. Good job to Christen's weapons of mass double destruction and our guy Matt something. I don't have anyone down here to turn to. I don't know what I'm looking for. Mama G out of retirement put a lot of people into retirement this year. As you can see here, 5 games in a row. She's back. She took a few years off after being disappointed by the 2020 election like a lot of people were. And now she's back and she's winning 5 games in a row for her. Now what the fuck is with these colors? Why is this blue and this whatever soft pink this is? This used to be gold and kind of gold. What is that? What is that liberal son of a bitch James L. Seagraves doing? Trying to paint everything rainbow now that Prop 3 is legal? Is this what we're doing? This is blue. I don't know why it's blue, but Tallywhackers, they are having a blue week as they lost to my boy David Dalton last week. Congratulations to you. The top 10, this should be gold. This should be reserved for the best teams. The gold colors, for some reason, it's blue. And funny enough, Bleeding Blue Bombers has a blue line. These teams are 7-2 here. Only 663 points, which is not great. Sagnasty, there's another pink. I don't know what Seagraves is up to, but I'm going to get to the bottom of it. You better believe me. Sagnasty's notch above top notch was number 1. And again, the curse of number 1 strikes. They've lost 2 in a row. DeWyans up number 10 number 8. Tenacious D loses. Bad week for Josh Crampton as they were cramped in something up his ass. Both of his teams lost this week. Cheechki up from number 9, number 6, 3-game win streak. We got Show Me Them TDs, another name I can get behind. Up number 11 from number 5. Just here so I don't get fined. Can anyone talk about Paul? Don't call me Paul Wallenwine. This guy quietly won 6 games in a row. Was up from number 7 to number 4. Congratulations to you, sir. A lot of Velada. This is great news here. He was number 1. The curse of number 1 strikes again. Losing to my guys, the Clockwork Elves. You know they're coming for you. They're going to take you down. Lennon Seagraves did his part in making sure a lot of Velada didn't rack that conference up. But did anyone else? We'll have to find out here in a minute as we look at the conference breakdown. Number 2 is That's a Chunky. Louis Diana, 8-1. Can't seem to ever get his girls to and from school, but he finds a way to get in the win column all the time. So that's something. I guess that's what he's focusing his time on. Congratulations to you. And then finally, number 1. This is why I'm here, folks. This is why I risked my life and reputation to go through those weak-ass Dobies guards and get to this point. Because the number 1 team in the nation is Chop It Off. It'll make you stunning and brave. Twilight Zone reality, folks. Don't buy into the hype. The Democrats did not win anything yesterday. We're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to get to the bottom, I promise. Hey! What the hell was that? My apologies. I don't know what just happened. What? Did he do the top 25? Are you kidding me? Well, congratulations to Chop It Off. It'll make you stunning and brave. Twilight Zone reality, folks. I guess he already did that. Did he make a comment about the different colors? I'm sure he did. Hey, Cat. Anyway, so that's that. Top 25. Oh, man. I don't know where my randomizers went. This is Blacklist. Is that what this is? Can You Digs It? Got randomized. A couple of... What the hell is this? Did he mess with my stuff? There's more than Can You Digs It. There was, at least one other randomizer. Oh, the Junior Chiefs got randomized this week. I think that might have been it. So, Can You Digs It? He's been randomized at least 2 weeks in a row. I'm calling it right now. Can You Digs It? If you do not have your lineup in, this is Richard Chapman. If your lineup is not in by Saturday at noon, the Can You Digs It? I have a team, a guy who's wanting to join this league and try it out for next year. Get your lineup in so I don't strip your team from you. I think you've been stripped 3 weeks in a row. Just week 8, we didn't take care of it because I was in Toledo. So please. And then the Junior Chiefs, I'm not worried about you. You're fine. One time is not a big deal. So, my God, I'm thirsty now. I don't know why. My throat all of a sudden does not feel great.
as if I've done something really harsh. I mean, I was yelling at some people upstairs, but I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. Anyway, a lot of bye weeks. It's coming up next. Now, this is important because this is how we're starting our playoff look. We're just going to say it. Last week, I had said that if Velada was to not win this division, conference, whatever you want to call it, he would have to lose out and Muckers would have to win out, right? Well, Lennon Lloyd Seagraves, the Clockwork Elves, did their part. They knocked off Velada for the first time this year. But Muckers could not do their part, which means that, with my white t-shirt, have a barbecue stain on it too. Not killing the New Minutes group. Anyway, Velada lost. Muckers also lost, which means that in Week 10, Renly, hi, buddy. Week 10, Velada has this conference wrapped up. Now, that's important to note because if he does not start anybody, he will be randomized. So, Velada, listen up, okay? Vincent, you have to submit a lineup, period. You can make it of all scrubs if you want to. At this point, there's really nothing in history you're worried about. You're not going to hit the all-time scoring record. You're not, being 10-1 doesn't mean anything. So if you're trying to go undefeated, I would see it. But seeing that you've already lost the game, you can just start bums. You can start, people like, I don't know. You can start backups for all that we care. Now, the only thing that would prevent you from doing that is to try to beat the teams that you don't want to make it into the playoffs. So, I mean, it's up to you. You can do what you want. You can start a regular lineup. I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't start my best guys because there's no need to, really. But nevertheless, congratulations to Velada, who's wrapped up the week. Now, keep in mind, all the conference winners get a bye week, too, in the playoffs. So, really, he has 3 straight byes coming up because it's impossible for him to lose that conference. 3 straight byes, making him the hands-on favorite, Ren, to win the whole thing based on the fact that he can rest guys 3 weeks in a row. Pretty crazy. Now, if we go to the deep playoff dive, here we go. We go deep and we don't get no sleep, am I right? Nope. That was me yesterday, actually. Conference scenarios, okay? This is interesting, okay? So we're looking at them conference by conference. We have, first of all, Jeff Lebowski conference. We really have 5 teams that I think are kind of still alive. Chichki has the odds-on favorite to win. If he wins both games, he wins the conference. If he loses one game, that's when you get all these weird scenarios. But Chichki, Ketchup and Mostert, Cloakle Kiss have the second best chance. And Postwag and Garrity's Gigolos are still, I think, alive. Anyone else is out. If you look at this, this kind of breaks down some stuff. Games left. Chichki, his next 2 games are against teams that are trying to win this conference. So this is very important for him. If he wins, obviously he wins no matter what. And we'll break this down a little bit further next week, depending how this goes. But just right now, his next 2 games are against Garrity's Gigolos and Postwag, which are both teams right here in the thick of it, both 5-4. Okay? If these guys win those 2 games, then obviously everything's in chaos. Now, if you look at the tiebreakers here, this shows you who these... I mean, Ketchup and Mostert has Giggle and Savage FC, both good owners, not going to mail it in. Cloakle Kiss, however, has Death Before Dishonor and Devastation Incorporated. Mike Davis quit the Verizon store not once but twice in the same week. How is that even possible? So is he going to quit on his fantasy team? I certainly hope not, because Cloakle Kiss, we don't want her to win. Oh my God, my 6:15 alarm's going off. I don't know what this is all about. Sorry. Little Macklemore for you in the morning, Ren. Anyway, so that's that. If you look at the tiebreakers, though, Ketchup and Mostert has beat 2 of these teams. But Garrity's Gigolos has beaten all 3 of these teams that he's played so far, and he's got 1 to be determined. Is Mom not here? Oh, she'll be back. She's taking Sissy to school. So, keep in mind that Garrity's Gigolos beat Cloakle Kiss by less than 1 point this previous week. So, this is interesting. All 5 of these teams are very much alive in this race. We're going to look more at it much more in depth next week, but this is where you're at. Now, the Kirk Lazarus Conference, too close to call, we're saying right now, and here's why. Look at this. Tallywhackers. Your Mother Likes My Defense. You Theo Lucky Punk. See These Nuts. All 6-3. And then there are 3 5-4 teams. So any of these teams realistically could win. It's way too much math to do, so I didn't really do it. But next week, we'll see how this shakes out. Now, if you want to look here, I didn't even look to see who they're playing either because there's way too much going on. Tallywhackers, 805 points, so it's pretty impressive. Then we go down to the next one, Ron Burgundy Conference. Chop It Off, it'll make you stunning and brave. Kikamba's Kristen's Weapons of Mass Double Destruction. Now, this is... For them, for Kikamba's or Kristen's Weapons of Mass Double Destruction to win, Chop It Off will have to lose both games. Okay? Chop It Off wins one game. Now, keep in mind, they're number one. It's a curse to be number one. If they lose one game, then it's over. They have to win. If they win one game, I should say. If they win both games, it's over. Win one game, it's over. If they lose two games, they have to lose out. And Kikamba's / Kristen's Weapons of Mass Destruction have to win out. Okay? Here's where it gets interesting. Kristen's Weapons of Mass Double Destruction plays them this week. So that's the season right there. That's going to be the game of the week for sure. I haven't looked at the preview yet. But Kristen versus Chop It Off. Kristen needs that win in order to even have a chance again in that conference. Kikamba's needs to win out too. So 3 teams alive there. Depending how it goes this week, we'll see how it is. We get down. What was that noise? Oh God! I hope we're not doing this again. Right. Go lay down. Lay down. You can go to sleep. I don't care. As long as you don't mind me. As long as you don't have any more security violations. Jeff Spicoli Conference. Only 2 teams still alive here, and it's very outside chance. As we have That's a Chunky and the Apache Chiefs. That's Chunky would have to lose out. Apache Chiefs would have to win out. And that is important because... I don't know what that was. The Apache Chiefs actually beat That's a Chunky. So, even though they'd both be 6-3... Apache Chiefs would have the tiebreaker. So That's a Chunky has to lose out. Apache Chiefs have to win out. Who do they play in the next couple weeks? That's a Chunky plays Aching for a Ship and True Blue Wrecking Crew. Whereas the Apache Chiefs, Vic in a Box, Josh Griner, and Tips and Tricks, hot off his win this week. We'll see. Easier route, no doubt, for the Apache Chiefs. True Blue Wrecking Crew's 5-4. They got a lot to play for. And Aching for a Ship, they are also 5-4. So That's a Chunky's got a bit of a rough road. But again, he only needs to win one of those 2 games to wrap that up. Frank Drebin Conference, we get down here, Tenacious D and Just Here So We Don't Get Fined, both 7-2. Both hands on, hands down, the odds-on favorite. Both of those guys. Malcolm Rodriguez, Patriots, All-Star, and Jeffrey didn't kill himself. In the mix somewhat, okay? Now we get through here. I didn't really go all the way through here, only because both of these teams would have to lose out. One of these teams would have to win out to even get the tiebreaker going. We'll go more in depth depending on how it goes next week. But technically, all 5 of these teams are somewhat alive. Man. Tenacious D has Joe Buck Yourself and Malcolm Rodriguez in the middle of my thighs. Now that is important because they need to win that game. And Just Here So We Don't Get Fined. So Malcolm Rodriguez in the middle of my thighs has both games. She needs to... she already told me that she basically has no one left to start. That's how she was so good for a while. This is why this league is incredible. You can be awesome at the beginning of the year, use all the good players, then all of a sudden you free fall. And that's what's happened to them, unfortunately. But, yeah, so if they can muster up both of those wins, that gets the rest of the conference halfway there, because both of them would lose. Joe Buck Yourself needs to come hard. Come on, Joe. Got to come hard. No doubt about it. I think Jordan Craig, I believe. That's you, right? Joe Buck Yourself. You had a rough start, but you've turned it around somewhat. What are you now? You're 4-5. See, man, you're great. Great. So now you get 2 more wins. You can really cause some damage in here. The Brody Bruce Conference. This one here is kind of cool. We have 2 7-2s and 2 6-3s with the Wyans, Show Me Them TDs, Low Hanging Fruit, and Brady's backup. So this is how this looks. What I don't know what dig means. Can you dig? Oh, Digger Phelps. He has to play Digger Phelps and HWMRH. Hang with Mr. Hernandez. So those are both 4 and 5 teams. Got something to play for because they want to get those raffle tickets. Low Hanging Fruit plays Brady's backup. That's a critical game this week. Probably the second best game of the week. Loser, that's going to probably be out of commission. So Low Hanging Fruit, Brady's backup. That's a huge game. Winner that stays alive. Loser that, pretty much done. Because they would lose the tiebreaker too. So they are done. The loser of that will be out of the contention. Now look at this Brady's backup. 566 points. Are you kidding me? And you got 6 and 3. How the hell is that even possible? Low Hanging Fruit has beaten both Brady's backup, or has beaten both Show Me Your TDs and Dewyan. So if Low Hanging Fruit can win out, good things are possibly afoot for them. So whereas everyone else here is 1-1 or 1-1 with one game yet to go. Brady's backup, Low Hanging Fruit 2-0 with one game to go, which is of course this week against Low Hanging Fruit, or against Brady's backup rather. Damn, I'm getting confused. The Rod Kimball Conference, I'll come down here. 3 teams really in the hunt. A lot of 5 and 4 teams that could really get complicated. I didn't really focus on this much. I focused on the top 3 teams. See how it goes this week. It is important to note that Bleeding Blue Bombers has beaten both Sag Nasty and Mama G out of retirement, so they're sitting very well. They still have to win, though. Has to go up against Niacime Naito and Hockenstein, who have a combined record of 4 and 14, but good owners still. I mean, just because you're having a bad season does not... Oh, what the hell did I just do? Just because you're having a bad season does not mean they're bad owners. That's Frazier and Josh Endicott. What is going on here? Alex Jones, where you at? Anyway, maybe he's back. Maybe cut some wires outside. I don't know. Bleeding Blue Bombers, yeah. Sag Nasty's notch above top notch. I mean, even though they lost to both Bleeding Blue Bombers and Mama G out of retirement, they're 0-2 in the tiebreaker, but if they win out and the other teams lose out, it won't matter. They'll be the only 9-2 team there is. So they are sitting pretty good. And then you have Mama G out of retirement, 6 and 3. They win out. They'll have a chance. These Whispering Eyes, Nasty Nutria, hitting rugs, and sticks it in you. I do believe they're mathematically still alive. Not 100% certain, but if you're these guys, you're in the hunt for the playoffs anyway, so you might as well do the best you can. And then aforementioned, Alada Velada has already wrapped this up. 8-1. Next closest is a ton of 5 and 4 teams. And they get down to the hapless Steel City Stackers, 673 and 2-7. Brutal. But which brings me to the next point. They've scored 673 points, but they're in last place. But, and in case you're wondering why the colors were the way they were, this is why they're the way they were. So, if you go here, blue means they are currently conference winners. Gold means they have currently won their conference. Blue means blue. Gold is they've won, nothing can happen. Blue means they are currently winning their conference. And then this pink color means that they would, if the league were to end today, they would get in based on their record and points. If you go down here, CD's Nuts, for example, 6 and 3, they have 688.78. That is there are 10 spots that are given to the best records outside of the conference winners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, when I talk about points, they're important. I've said it since day one. Very important for 2 reasons. 1, in a tiebreaker like this, it is the tiebreaker. So CD's Nuts and Ketchup and Mostert here, they have the same record, separated by 8 points. But if the league were to end today, CD's Nuts, that 8-point differential would be the difference between being in the playoffs and not. This goal is just regular other top 25 stuff. Not really important. So, when you factor in the blue and the gold and the pink, at that point you will still have, when you remove all the records from the equation, if the league were to end today, the next 3 highest scoring teams make the playoffs, okay? Now, again, this is if it were to end today. This is not saying these people are in. First and foremost, who's sitting really good is Swag, okay? They are white, which makes them the enemy. No, I'm just kidding. They are white, which means they're not in the top 25. They're not winning their conference, and they wouldn't get it on record, but they do have 808 points, good for second in the league. Okay? Down here, number 7, Malcolm Rodriguez in the middle of my 5. Now, keep in mind, 808 points is really the barometer you'd have to beat if you want to, have a chance, as of right now. 753.04 is second place, and then 737.46. Fly Eagles Fly would be the third place for points. Now, these numbers are going to change because you're going to get in here and someone like, I don't know, let's say, let's say you Thielen Lucky Punk. Well, hell, let's say Tallywhackers. Tallywhackers could lose their conference. They could lose 2 in a row. Then they'd be 6-5. And this 805 points numbers right here is going to obliterate anything below them. But as it stands right now, remember, top 8 are conference winners. They all get buys in the first week of the playoffs. Next 10 are based on record and points as the tiebreaker. And then the next 3 go to points strictly for the playoffs. And then there are 3 additional spots, and this is why you never give up on the Survivor League. You don't abandon your team like the RV guy or whoever the other person was at the beginning of the year. Because every win, the last 3 spots, they are wild cards. Every win you get throughout the regular season gets you an entry into the wheel, and the wheel picks the last 3 spots. So you can get in and be, you can get in and be 1-10. My dad has already given up. He's like, well, I'm going to start okay, guys, and hopefully if I get lucky, I'll have good players to start. That's a strategy. It is a strategy. It takes a lot of luck, especially when there's 96 teams, but it is a strategy. So there's that. That is the wild card reminder I'm telling you about. So don't forget, the season is not over. Not only is the season not over based on wild card, I want to bring this up. I know we're getting 31 minutes here. Wild card can get you in the playoffs, but then even if you don't make the regular playoffs, there is still the consolation bracket that everybody gets in. There is no randomizer in the consolation bracket because it doesn't really matter at that point. But if you win the consolation bracket, aka the SUK bracket, you win free entry in the next year. So there's still a reason to play, even if you think your season's over. It's never over at Muscle. And then even then, once the regular season is over in the NFL, we go to the playoff challenge. So you get so much money for your $20 to $25, depending on what you spent to get in this league, depending on when you joined. It's madness. That's why everyone loves this league. It's why I love this league. It's why I do what I do. Sacrificing my mornings to do this podcast for you all. Week 10 preview. This is a long one, though. It would have been nice if I didn't have that weird block where I was kidnapped or whatever, tied up. Someone fed me something. I went in some other world. It was really strange. Week 10 matchups. Here we go. We're only going to look at the key ones. We know what's happening here, okay? Hey, Devastation Incorporated. I just made fun of you for quitting the job twice. Maybe you can make fun of me by beating me. This is huge here. Garrity's Gigolos versus Cheats. I already told you about it. 17 versus 18. Your mother likes my defense versus CD's nuts. Both 6-3. Critical game. Game of the year right here. Chop it off and it'll make you stunning and brave versus Kristen's Weapons of Mass Double Destruction. Chop it off wins. They win that conference. Aching for a ship. Taking on That's a Chunky. That's another huge game right there. Joe Buck Yourself versus Tenacious D. Doesn't seem like a lot, but Jordan Craig can knock down Tenacious D. Mom's back, by the way. Just Here So I Don't Get Fined versus Malcolm Rodriguez in the middle of my thighs. Critical game here. I mean, there are some huge games this weekend. DeWyans versus Digger Phelps. I mean, Digger Phelps, you know where you're at. You're not going to win the conference, but you can play spoiler and make it hard for everyone else, or for him to win. He's winning that conference otherwise. Brady's backup versus low-hanging fruit. Critical game. 16 versus 22. Both 6-3. Both fighting for that conference stop with a little help. Now See Me Now You Don't has to beat Bleeding Blue Bombers to open that up, I think. The 7-2 team's got to fall or else they're going to win. Hitting Ruggs taking on, that's Mason Bradley taking on Ben Miller's 7-2 Sag Nasty team. Hitting Ruggs 5-4 though. They're playing for something. I mean, at this point, the 5-4 teams, if they win both games, they'll be 7-4 and will have a good chance of making the playoffs just based on record. That's how it boils down to. And then a lot of taking on Muckers in what could have been the game of the year had Muckers won, because that would have gave them would have given them the shot at winning that whole conference. But unfortunately, because Muckers lost last week, it doesn't mean shit. So a lot of has already won that. Muckers, I mean, realistically, now do not listen to this, but Muckers, you're 5-4. You're playing a lot of Velada, who's already won the conference, so you might want to start kind of a weak lineup because a lot of Velada is probably not going to play anybody. Of course, if you do that and a lot of Velada does play someone, you're going to get your ass kicked. Nobody knows! That's the beauty of this league. We'll see what happens. And then finally, the Clockwork Elves taking on my Balzackerts in a game that doesn't mean anything. But hey, just wanted to highlight that. Finally, I didn't have this ready to go for some reason because I'm a rook. But let's see if I can get this going here. Where are the squares? Oh, no. One second. Sorry. Oh, my God. Super Squares, week 9. Category is quarterback with the most rushing yards. Winner of the week, Bills 86, courtesy of Josh Allen. Bears 178, courtesy of Justin Fields, an NFL record. Rob Gork, your big winner, folks. Won $29. Already paid him yesterday, actually. So that's it. Next week will be even more in-depth look at the conference breakdown. Top 25 goes away after this week, so it means nothing. At the end of the day, I've always said it, top 25 doesn't mean anything at the end of the year. This will be the last week you'll have that top 25. So can chop it off, break the curse with the last week to go. That's all he's got to do is 1 week to go. So, hey, we'll see you later. Enjoy yourself.